Welcome in this week's edition of the Coaches Show. We're all about softball and baseball and the postseason play for both those sports as well, too. Joining me first, as always, for our softball segment is our head softball coach, Meleah Howard. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Good morning.
And, Coach, we won't bury the lead. We'll be the first to say congratulations on winning your third straight MAC Conference championship there. The MACCC championship is outright belongs to the Lady Wolves for the third year in a row. You did that because you went on the road and you swept Northwest, beat them 16-2 in game one, 4-2 in game two, beat Holmes 9-1 and 8-0 in your regular season finale. First, talk about those Northwest games. Those were games that you were supposed to play days before, but because of weather, you had to push them back. Could have been games where you potentially faced an upset because Northwest has got a really good team, but the girls went out there and just handled business.
Yeah, I wasn't excited about the games getting moved because it pushed us to playing 3 series that week, but it worked out for us, and, we controlled what we could control, and that's our biggest thing is, we can't control they're getting weather. We can't control that they can play. So we're going to have to go next week, and we're just going to have to get the job done, and they did. Yeah,
you look at game one, as we mentioned, it was 16-2, one in the first, one in the second. 6 in the fourth, that made it 8-0. They hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the fourth that kind of got the run rule out of the way, but we said, all right, we'll just turn around and we'll score 8 in the fifth. There were home runs in this game by Yachty Van Blerkamp. Abby Burnett hit a absolute nuke of a home run off of her bat.
She did.
You had 14 hits in this one, 3 each from Yachty, Breeley, Morgan Chisholm, 2 from Abby, 1 from Annie Poole, Stella Roberts, Brooklyn Wren. Up and down the lineup, you performed in this one. Addison Lindley went out, gave you a complete game, 5 innings, 2 runs, both of them earned 6 hits, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. I think outside of that home run pitch, that was a little bit of a mistake pitch. This might be one of her best outings. She was efficient, controlled the zone, and there was one inning, I think it was maybe the third or second inning after we scored, she struck out the side and looked very good doing so.
Yeah, Addison had a great day, and, she committed her pitches really well, and I was proud of her. She had a great day.
And then you look at game 2, 4-2. They threw a pitcher that was a little bit slower than what we're used to seeing. Girls took a little bit of time to time her up and those kind of things. You scored 1 in the first. They scored 2 in the third. We responded. No, let me rephrase that. They scored 1 in the first. We responded with 2 in the third. They tied it with 1 in the third as well, too. We scored 1 in the fourth, 1 in the seventh. That's how you got 4-2. There's a home run by Emily Williams in this one. You had 11 hits, 3 from Annie Poole, 2 from Emily Williams, 1 from Yachty, Breeley, Stella, and Abby and Brooklyn. And then Lily Crum came out, gave you 7 innings of a complete game. I think probably one of her better outings as well, too.
Yeah,
she's
had a
really
great day.
Rounding into form. 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. And then against Holmes, there's not much you can say. We just went out and kind of dominated the game. We gave up an early run in game 1, made it 1-0. We responded with 6, including a grand slam from Breeley. Annie Poole called game in this one with a 3-run home run that hit the top of the fence and then bounced over.
Yep.
So, it doesn't matter if it hits the top of the fence. As long as it goes over, it still counts as a home run.
Hey, I always say if it hits the top of the fence and comes back, we need to be concerned. But if it hits the top of the fence and goes over, that's a good day.
Yeah. Addison Lindley with another complete game, gave her 19th win. She sits alone atop the MACCC and wins with 19. 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 7 strikeouts. Again, another really good job of Addison. Her last 3 starts, she won MACCC Pitcher of the Week honors for last week, getting all 3 wins. Breeley got Player of the Week honors because she had 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, batted, eye-popping numbers out of Breeley. But, talking about Addison, you're really starting to see she's really coming into form, really looking like the pitcher we thought she was going to be all year. The pitcher she's shown that she's been all year, but now it feels like she stepped it up here going into the postseason.
Addison started the year off doing really well, and then she kind of went through a little bit of a funk, but that's the name of the game. But as of late, she's been throwing really well, and we need that going into postseason.
And then in the 8-0 ball game, Breeley Phillips, Annie Poole, Abby Burnett, all with home runs. Those were 3 of your 12 hits. You had a couple from Annie, 2 from Yachty, 2 from Breeley, 1 from Emily, 1 from Abby, 1 from Brooklyn, 1 from Olivia Higginbotham, 1 from Addison Lindley, who got a pinch hit appearance in this one. Cadence Shepard got the call game in this one. She got you the RBI game ending single in the bottom of the 6th. Lily Crum came out, gave you 4 innings, got her 9th win of the season. 2 hits, 1 strikeout. Ava Browder came out. I thought she did really well. Yep. Ava hadn't got to pitch in the last couple of weeks just because, we haven't played many games past 5 innings.
Well, Addison and Lily have been doing really good. So Ava knows, hey, you're there on standby. But in this game, Lily had it under control. But we knew we needed to get Ava some innings, just get her some game time going into postseason.
Yeah.
And she did really well.
I think you can look and go, Ava, the last couple of times that she's pitched has really looked like the pitcher y'all thought she was going to be going into the spring. Not saying she hasn't pitched well, but, I think you're now starting to see that pitcher that you saw back in the fall, and that has a lot of your confidence.
Yeah, for sure.
And now you turn your attention to the Region 23 tournament. The good thing is when you win the conference, you're going to host one of the pods. We get to be in Weston for the third straight year. We know who all is coming. We're going to host the number 4 seed LSU Eunice, the number 5 seed Northwest. The play-in game will be between number 8 Hines, number 9 Southwest. The winner of that one will get the Lady Wolves. What are you expecting out of this Region 23 pod? What are you expecting out of all these teams? Are teams that we've had success against this year, so they're going to be gunning for us, and especially coming in here trying to win one from the Lady Wolves in Weston.
Well, I like that we are at home. That's a great thing. We are currently 22-0 at home this year. So I really want to be 25-0 next week, and we can talk about it again. But one game at a time. You win, you play one game a day, and that's our goal, that's our mindset, and we're just going to stay locked in and keep playing Co-Lin softball.
And you look overall at the season you've had so far, 44-5. I told you after the game, I said these sophomores are sitting on 92 career wins. They could easily get to 100 or more by the time they're done. 25-3 in conference play. The sophomores finished 52-4. I don't know if that's a mark that'll ever be replicated amongst a two-year group. There's been a lot of success for this team. How do you keep them focused and motivated and looking towards, hey, we've accomplished one goal. We've got several more that we want to get before this season's over.
I just think we have to stay hungry and keep doing what we've done all year long. Nothing changes. It worked for us to get us here. So we're going to keep doing what we've been doing. And I think the girls want it. At this point, they have to want it more than the other team. They can't get complacent, and they just got to keep reaching for the next goal.
So, again, lots of good and exciting things happening for the Lady Wolves. Again, capture their third straight MACCC championship, host Region 23 pod play for the third straight year. We will welcome in again LSU Eunice, Northwest, Hines, Southwest. Hines and Southwest right now scheduled to play this upcoming Saturday. It's all been pushed back because of weather and all those kind of things. So Saturday right now, I believe that's at 3 p.m. on that day.
4
p.m. on Saturday. Then on Sunday, we'll start at 3 p.m. with the winner of that one. 3 and 5 on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday will be the final 2 days for that. We'll give you all the information on our social media channels as we have it available and as it becomes available to us. Stick with us through the break. Joining me next will be Coach Kyle Flessner. We'll talk about how baseball has done to close out the regular season and look forward to their postseason play as well, too. Thanks for sticking with us through the break. Joining me now for our baseball segment, as always, is our head baseball coach, Kyle Flessner. Coach, thanks for joining me.
Appreciate you having me.
And Coach, obviously since the last time we talked, you finished out the regular season, and the good news is you've gone 6-0, including a big sweep over the Bears to win the Coca-Cola Challenge, a sweep on the road at homes for your final road series, and then finished off the season with a home sweep of Kahoma as well too. We'll go all the way back to that Southwest series. That was a series that you and I have talked several times. We walked in that one feeling like we kind of owed them one, especially after the game one earlier this year, and the guys really delivered. You faced some adversity early in the game one, but really kind of won out after that one big inning by Southwest. But talk about how good that sweep felt.
No, it was amazing. We were starting to get into the dog days. Our guys, they may be feeling a little bit tired, but that was the best thing we needed was a trip to Southwest to get us up. If you can't get up for a game like that, a rivalry series, then you need to check your pulse. And it was as expected. I thought our guys came out ready to play, and it was a really fun 2 games for us, for sure.
You look at game one, as I mentioned, we scored 2 runs in the second. They responded with 4 runs, took a 4-2 lead. Our guys immediately responded with 4 runs of their own to make it 6-4 at that point, and we never really looked back, never gave up the lead again. Scored 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 7th. They scored 1 in the 7th. We responded with 3 in the 9th. They scored 1 in the 9th, but we were able to close it out. out. You look up and down the lineup, 11 runs on 11 hits. Avery Griffin led the way with a 3-for-3 game in this one. 2 hits each from Brady White and Donovan Moore, and then a hit from Bryson Jones, John Mark Grissom, Matthew Combs, Evan Holyfield. Up and down throughout that lineup really produced for you and really did a great job of getting to the Bears pitchers.
Yes, I thought we did a really good job getting their starter out early, and they got ours out early. Heck of a job by Lucian Walker to come in and give us 5 innings of scoreless relief. And so really good job on his part. But overall, the lineup, I thought we were able to do a lot of things really well. We were able to run, able to make productive outs happen, and we were just able to keep extending innings with 2 outs. And I felt like the inning was never over, and our guys did a good job of executing that. So.
Yeah. You mentioned the pitching there. Cameron Patterson got the start for you in this one. Only got through 1 inning, went back out for the second, just kind of lost it a little bit. 1 inning, 2 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Lucian got his second win of the season with, as you mentioned, 5 innings of scoreless ball. Only gave up 1 hit, had 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. You and I were just talking. It didn't matter what kind of contact Southwest had. It wasn't hard contact, and it really wasn't going anywhere.
No, I thought Lucian fit that, situation perfectly. The wind was blowing in. Southwest already plays like a very dead field, and so we needed a guy that was just going to come in and pound the zone, and Lucian Walker's that guy. And to be able to come in the second inning and just get us through the ball game without having to burn a ton more arms, that helped us out with the rest of the doubleheader.
Yep.
So.
Caleb Flynn gave you 2/3, gave up a run. It was earned on a hit. Nash Sturdivant gave you an inning and a third, scoreless with 2 hits. Jennings Kimbrell finished this one off with an inning, gave up a run on 2 hits and a strikeout. And then in game 2, Wes White, welcome back to dominant form in this one. You and I were talking after the 3rd inning. We were up 3-0, and you looked at me and you said, "Man, it feels like we're up by a lot more." I said, "Yeah, it feels like we're about 300-0 the way that Wes was pitching." But you won this one 9-0. It never was in doubt. Wes gave you 5 innings of no-hit baseball, only gave up 2 hits, only gave up 2 walks. I think 1 guy reached on an error, so he only faced 5 batters above the minimum for this one. That was good enough to give him MACCC Player of the Week or Pitcher of the Week honors. He also had 11 strikeouts, came up 1 shy of tying his career high. Again, just a dominant outing from Wes in this one.
It starts as a whole team effort. I felt like our dugout was behind him the whole time. They were very just live, and from the very first inning, putting up 1 and then throwing up a 0 right after that, it kind of said, hey, we're in control here. We're going to keep in control. There was a hustle double play by Avery Griffin to where the outfielder didn't get to it as quick and had a slower throw, and we were able to take second base, and that lit everybody up. And from that moment on, I felt like, hey, we're going to play a lot harder than this team across from us. We just got to continue to do it. And then having Wes continuing to just throw up 0 after 0 after 0 kept them from ever having something happen for them.
Yeah.
So
you just mentioned it. 1 run in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. I believe the 1 in the third was the one where you just mentioned the hustle double by Avery. That had the whole dugout fired up. Not just you. I was fired up in the dugout as well too. And I think the most impressive thing about that hole is how he scored the run. A couple batters later, Evan Holyfield hits a ball that in any other day, any other park, that ball is obliterated and it's gone. It was one of several we hit that day. And the left fielder catches it going crashing into the wall. Avery scores all the way from second for the sac fly and gives Evan an RBI there. And, I think what felt even better was the next time he got up, I told you I was sending it by Hayes Abear, and I said, I would tell Evan to hit it just like he did last time, maybe a little bit harder. Yeah. The next swing, he crushes it over the video board, and everybody came unglued as well too. Ironically, Avery Griffin scoring there as well. That 2-run home run, it's funny because Evan said, I think the sac fly I felt better about than the home run. I said, I don't know. Both of them were really good swings.
I had that same thought. I thought he could not have hit that ball any harder than the sac fly was, and it just, credit to Coach Sala. He was sending him all the way around the whole time. Our guys did a really good job pushing the envelope. They had that running slogan all year. They'll say push the envelope, and that's got to be our team concept. And my favorite plays, I love a home run that goes 500 feet like Evans did. It felt like I love a good shutout, good pitching performance, but those hustle plays to where you can physically see our team is playing harder than the other, that's what fires me up most in the dugout, and that's what we can control, and that's why it means so much to me to win games that way and to have that team, have that demeanor be a part of our team.
And the 9-0 shutout meant the bat stays in Weston for another year. But then you turned your attention to Holmes, went on the road for the final regular season, for the final time in the regular season. A 10-0 shutout in game one, back-to-back shutouts. I think that may be the first time we've done that all season.
Yes.
So that's a kind of a good indication of where this team is going headed into postseason play. You look at this one: 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 3 in the eighth. I think there was a home run from Matthew Combs in this one, as well as Donovan Moore, both of them with 2 home run days. Just another really dominant day for the Wolves in both aspects of the game. Tanner Blackwell gave you 7 innings of shutout ball, only gave up 4 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Co-Lin with an inning of work there as well too, gave up 1 walk. So you were dominant not only at the plate but in the mound on the mound in this one as well too.
No, and Blackwell, TB, I think he's been one of our most consistent starters. Every time he goes out there, you just know exactly what you're going to get. And just the compete factor is there. He wants to beat that team. It doesn't matter who's in the other dugout. He's doing a really good job making sure he's giving himself a chance at success. So really good start right there to start off our day. Combs and Donnie, really good swing, being able to keep us going. Donnie, I think, had another 3 home run day. And so it was awesome for him. I made the joke. I say, I'll take a Donovan Moore in North Mississippi over Mike Trout any day. It seems like he's going to find a barrel. There's no way to beat him. And he's swinging the hottest bat at the right time of the year.
Yeah.
So.
And you look at game 2, you really set the tone early in game 2. You scored 4 runs. This was an inning where you had 2 2-run home runs, one by Matthew Combs, one by Donovan Moore. You scored 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the sixth, 3 in the seventh. Holmes scored 3 in the first, made it 4-3. That was the closest I think it ever got in this one. Maybe it was 9-8 at one point too, but it was a 1-run ball game a couple of times because they scored 3 in the fourth. 2 in the fifth as well, too. Donovan Moore, we mentioned just saying 4 for 5 day for him. 2 hits from Bradley Hanlon, Matthew Combs, Avery Griffin, Evan Holyfield, a hit from Bryson Jones. That's the 15 hits there. Bradley Hanlon had a home run in this one as well, too. I think you said that was probably the hardest ball you've seen hit all year.
Yes.
Donovan Moore had another one in this one as well, too. As you just mentioned, 3 home run day for him. Jennings Kimbrell got the win. Struggled a little bit in this one, but still got the win. 3 2/3. Gave up 6 runs, 5 earned on 10 hits, 3 strikeouts. Nash Sturdivant gave you a 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits. Cohen Weinhofer gave you 2 2/3 of scoreless ball, 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So despite Jennings again, that line says he struggled, but a kid like Jennings who fills up the zone, throws strikes, you expect hits to come when against a team like this. He still gets the win despite a line that says he labored through it.
Well, yeah, we can't forget who the head coach is on the other team, and he knows how to run an offense. And if they get shut out, the law of averages are going to kick in, and they're going to swing it a lot better in game 2. And I felt like that was their point. Hey, we got shut out. It's not like they struck out a ton in either game, but hey, they got to be more aggressive at the plate, got to look to do more damage, and that's what they did. And I felt like it was a good matchup for Holmes, having a strike thrower on the mound for us in game 2. They were going to have a really big opportunity to do that. And so it just – I called it the doubleheader magic that always seems to happen. I felt like anytime they tried to drop down a bunt, it was perfectly down the line. Anytime they got the bat on the ball, it found a hole somewhere. They had one guy that had no at-bats on the year. Next thing you know, his first 2 at-bats, he gets a hit. And they hit 2 of our, most consistent guys with Nash Sturdivant and Jennings Kimbrell. So it didn't seem like anything was going our way, but one thing we did really well is we kept making them have to earn every single thing. So I wasn't ever too worried. And Donovan Moore and Bradley Hanlon with those back-to-back shots in game 2, it made it, got the momentum back on our side and let us keep it and say, hey, we're right where we need to be. Just keep doing what you're doing. Then Cohen, amazing day for him, just overall coming in game 1 and game 2, being able to be effective.
And then this past Tuesday, you played Kahoma. You wrapped up the regular season, a little bit bittersweet, knowing that postseason is coming, but knowing that 18 of your guys have played more than likely their final game at Sullivan Field. Unless some things go the Wolves' way in the Region 23 tournament, we could be back here, but, that's a discussion for after these. You look at these, you won 14-5 and 3-0. The 14-5 game, this was a game where you just never could get that run rule, but you kept adding on throughout the game as well, too. the Tigers actually took a 1-0 lead, but our guys responded with 6 in the first, nothing for the next 3 innings. They scored 2 in the 5th. We scored 3 in the bottom half, 1 in the 6th for them, 1 in the 7th. We responded with 4 in the bottom of the 7th, and then 1 in the bottom of the 8th. 14 runs on 15 hits. Avery Griffin and Brady White both had 3 for 3 days. Both had home runs in this one as well, too. So, the sophomores in their final doubleheader both came up really big for you in this one. 2 hits from John Mark Grissom, a hit from Jacob Chancellor, Cam Murphy, Bryson Jones, Donovan Moore, Trey Davidson, Bradley Hanlon. Again, another day we're up and down the lineup you produced. Here in game 1, you had to use 4 guys. Akavian Griffith came in, gave you 4 2/3, gave up 3 runs, all earned, 6 hits, 4 walks, 7 strikeouts. I thought it was a good line, good day for Akavian. Not bad for a freshman. Still working on some things and still figuring things out, but looking very, very good going this late into the season. Lucian Walker came in, gave up an unearned run on 2 hits and an inning and a third with a strikeout. Jacob Buffalo, an inning with 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Caleb Flynn finished it out, 2 innings of hitless, scoreless relief, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. So, despite, the 4 walks from Akavian, you finished with a 12-6 walk to strikeout ratio, 2-1 anytime you have that. That's a good day. Really dominant day in the mound for you.
It was, and AG's been, I think, just as solid as anybody, and it was good to see him do that in the start. His first inning, he looked like he was working a little bit slow, but then the tempo picked up, and he was really attacking hitters, and it was exactly what I wanted to see from him. I thought he earned that start. He'd been absolutely killing it out of the pen, and I think he's got a really electric arm, so we need to keep, having him grow and grow and grow and continue to go. Line up and down. Really good swings. I just thought there were times we needed to be able to add more when we didn't. We put a 6 spot in the first inning and then nothing off that same arm for 3 more innings. Can't let a guy get settled in and stay in the ball game. I felt like there were just times, hey, we're giving the bats away. We're letting the other team dictate our pace, because anytime it seems like anybody plays at a slower pace than we do, we just get we get down, we lose focus, and so that's got to be our biggest focus point going into the playoffs.
Yep. And then in game 2, you look at this one, it was 3-0. I jokingly told you after the game, I said, thank goodness Trey Davidson came back, because Trey was responsible for all 3 runs, hit a 2-run home run in the bottom of the first, hit an RBI double that scored Donovan Moore in the bottom of the third. Your pitchers only gave up 1 hit, and that was Wes White coming in the start. Stats aren't showing up right now, but Wes got the win. I think he gave up the hit, had 5 innings where he had, I think 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, something like that. Yeah. A game where we told you it was kind of abnormal for Wes because it didn't feel like he struggled, but the 5 walks said he struggled just a little bit.
And then Cohen to be able to come in after that, and then
Nash closed it out.
And I told Nash, I said, well, it's almost poetic. Your very last appearance here at Sullivan Field is a save, and it just – for a guy that led the country in saves last year, that you wouldn't want to go out any other way. And, tip of the cap to Cahoma's guy. He was pounding the zone. He was mixing it up really well and just throwing the ball in a spot where it seemed like it kept tying up our guys, and we weren't able to put good bat on it when we needed to. So it just sometimes it works out that way, but I thought our guys didn't ever lose focus. They did a lot better job staying at the pace we want to play. We were making plays that, we needed to. So it just – scores 3-0, but it ended up being, a successful ending to our season for the regular season.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Nash had 3 strikeouts. I know he had 2. I think he struck out all 3 guys and gave up a walk in that inning as well, too.
We had a line out to end the game, so it ended up being 2 punch outs.
That's right, 2 punch outs, because Donovan Moore, over-reliable out in left field, made a play to end the season in the regular season. So now you turn your attention to the playoffs. We can't talk a lot about specifics because we don't know a lot of the specifics yet, because, if you paid attention to the weather in Mississippi, Mother Nature has not cooperated. I jokingly tell people all the time, it never ceases to fail. We have not had weather all year. Region tournament time comes, and Mother Nature is like, not so fast.
Absolutely.
Here comes the rain. What we do know is that the Wolves are going to finish as the 5 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be the 4 or the 5.
4 or the 5. And with that, we do know that we'll go to Poplarville. We'll play in the Pearl River Pod. just don't know who we're going to play yet. I know that the odds are probably going to be
only 2 teams we could play are East Central and Jones. And
so we know who the opponents are going to be. The good news is one of those opponents we split with. The other one didn't play as well at their place, but when they played over here, we played them really close as well too. So, I think going forward, you like your guys' odds no matter what, especially with the momentum they're carrying from the end of the season.
Absolutely. I think we're playing some of our best baseball right now. We're getting guys back where they need to be. I just hope the old adage of it's hard to beat a team 4 times really kicks in, and that helps us be in our favor if East Central's the opponent. And then Jones, same deal. I think we still owe them because, hey, we won game 1, but then we let game 2 get away from us. I don't think they got to fully see what we're capable of doing yet, and it was just kind of on a day where we didn't have our best day with our game 2 guys. So I think we're sitting in a really good spot, whether we're home or away or the 4 or 5 seed. I think our guys, we're right where we need to be, and luckily we got to play on Tuesday, so we got a good bit of time to get ready and go play this next Tuesday. So we got a good week's rest.
Yeah, finish the regular season 33-18, 18-10 in conference play. That's about a .640 winning percentage on both sides. I told you, I said the good thing is too, you look at the splits. The Wolves were 21-9 at home, 11-9 on the road, 1-0 in true neutral side games. So everywhere you can possibly play, you had an above 500 or winning record. So again, that shows just how good this team was this year. Some bumps and bruises along the way. You expect some of those. You drop some that you probably shouldn't have. If you sit there and go, well, if we don't drop those, maybe we're sitting in a spot to host. But those are the breaks.
Yeah, and you can't let yourself do that. Can't let yourself dwell on it. And I've said time and time again, after a frustrating split or games that we should have dropped or should have won, just trying to keep our guys even keel. And if you let yourself ride the highs and the lows in this league, you're going to end up being very miserable at the very end. It's too stressful. This league is too good. For us to go 4-0 on the road last week, it doesn't matter who you play. That's a very big feat in its own right there. So I was really happy just overall. If you tell me at the beginning of the season, hey, we're going to go win 18 games in conference, I'm pretty happy about that. And that's got to be our standard now from now on. I hope that that's our bottom line, and we continue to win 18+ every single year as we're here. So,
I told you after Tuesday, I said, hey, let's just go win it all. So, I think that maybe that's the best mindset. Let's just go win it all. Why not us at this point? Everybody's got the same amount of odds.
Everybody's 0-0 now, and I'll tell you what, I don't think it's going to be an upset. Whoever makes it out of either regional, it's not an upset. It's really good baseball teams left here, and so why not us be the team that's left? There's one trophy at the end of the year. That's what we plan on playing for. So,
well, congratulations on a great regular season, Coach. That will wrap up our coaches show this week. Again, baseball will be on the road. That starts on Monday right now, I believe.
Monday is the playing game. We'll play on Tuesday.
Well, so the Wolves will play on Tuesday. We'll have opponent to be determined at a time to be determined, but the place will be Poplarville. We'll give you all of the details on all of their social medias, as we always do. Co-Lin Athletics on all their social medias. As a reminder, softball will be in action this weekend. Region 23 tournament pod play for them as well, too. That is supposed to start right now on Saturday with a play-in game between Hines and Southwest. The Lady Wolves will get the winner of that one on Sunday. We'll give you all the information on our social media as it's available as well, too. Again, thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Kyzar, your Sports Information Coordinator, and we'll talk to you next week.